مدعيكم غايب عنا والحكم ميوز في الغيبة، ينبغي الإنسان يتأنى ويحكم بأحكام مصيبة، لا تحس بالحيف ذا منا النصف ناخذ ونعطيبه، سوي يمين وبلغه عنا بالسلام وألف ترحيب.
معنا خط بكتابك بترحيبه،
لو سرى بك ليلك وجنة
جاء في الليل تسريبه،
ريض يا الطارش
يلم عنا خط بكتابك بترحيبه، لو سرابك ليلك وجنة بالدجا في الليل تسريبه.
بلغ المهموم ما تهنى، سهل الليلة يهذيبه، يشغله بالفكر والظن مكر وسواس ولا عيب، حزن في قلبه مخفنه دون ناس خايف تعيبه، قول له اللي له المنة عالم بالجهر والغيبة، يعلم بحالك ولكنه يختبر عبده بالمصيب.
يلم عنا خط بكتابك بترحيبه، لو سرابك ليلك وجنة
بالدجا في الليل تسريبه،
يلم عنا بكتابك بترحيبه، لو سرابك ليلك وجنة بالدجا في الليل تسريبه.
من بغى مثواه للجنة ما رضى بالنفس لتعيبه، حد كل حيلته يتمنى وحد حلمه بيده هيبه، واللي يقول يا رب آمنا ما يعرف الياس والريبة، زاده القرآن والسنة وادعاه الداعي يجيبه، طارشي ان تقول إن على العهد والوعد نوفي.
خط بكتابك بترحيبه، لو سرابك ليلك وجنة بالدجا في الليل تسريبه، ريض يا الطارش يلم عنا خط بكتابك بترحيبه، لو سرابك ليلك وجنة بالدجا في الليل تسريبه.
From the evil of ourselves and the evil of our actions. Remember, Allah guides, no one can misguide. And remember, Allah misguides, no one can guide. And I bear witness that there is no one worthy of worship except for Allah, having no partners, and that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger and his final prophet. Dear brothers and sisters, we've been invited here today to discuss youth issues. And this is a very, how can I say, a very vast topic. But inshallah we'll try to do some justice in this night and address some of the issues that are very important. My focus will be about relations because my position at the Preston Mosque, 80% or more of our problems are regarding marital issues or premarital issues and divorce and that sort of area. So inshallah I'll be focused around that area. And talking about premarital issues, this is a growing problem amongst our youth, because our youth, they don't prevent themselves from falling into the traps of shaitan and fall into the traps of shaitan. Our youth, they are good kids, they're good youth. They're not bad youth. And we're all vulnerable to the deceptions of shaitan, but we have to put a fortress of defense between us and shaitan to prevent ourselves. And these premarital relations, they're on different levels. And some of you will know people that are at these different levels. Some of them at the levels where they're just meeting each other, some where they're dating, some where they're planning marriage, and even some that have gone to the point where we seek refuge in Allah, that they're actually committing zina with one another. And there's two main scenarios in regard to these premarital relations. One is between two Muslims, meaning the male is a Muslim and the female is a Muslim. And the other scenario is where one of the people is a Muslim and the other person is a non-Muslim. So we have a relationship between a Muslim and a non-Muslim, and a relationship between a Muslim and a Muslim. So just to broaden your mind and show you that this is, can happen between our own kids, not just between our kids and kids of other groups. I'll begin by talking about the latter, or raising some points on the latter one, because this is the more common, which is the relationship between a Muslim youth and a non-Muslim. And this is more common with the sisters for some reason. Even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it permissible for the males to marry the people from the book, we see this growing concern with the sisters. We will see a sister coming to the masjid and she'll have a male with her who looks like a stranger. And we'll ask her, who's this person that's with you? And mind you, she's there to make an appointment for marriage. And she says, oh, this is the person I want to marry. So we want to make an appointment to see the sheikh. He wants to become a Muslim and marry me at the same time. So this is the point we've reached, that women or the females in our community are that open about that they don't see a problem with it. The shaitan has lured them that far. And we try to convince the sisters, that this is not permissible, and the fact that it's not permissible also makes it unpermissible to agree to a marriage from someone that you're not permitted to marry. She goes, yeah, but he's going to become a Muslim. But you can't agree, because he's not a Muslim, he's not a believer. So these are some of the things. And they bring all sorts of arguments forward, like, for example, when the Prophet ﷺ said, if a person comes to you and you're pleased with his deen and his character, then marry him. They bring this argument and they say, I'm pleased with his deen. He's got good character and the deen will come along later. This is what we're going to make him a Muslim for. They start arguing with this sort of stuff. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, and a believing slave is better than a polytheist, even though he might please you. Those invite you to the fire, but Allah invites you to paradise and to forgiveness. So if we're going to look at this verse that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in the Quran and analyze it, who am I supposed to believe? I'm a secretary at the Preston Mosque and a sister comes in, she wants to marry. Am I supposed to believe her when she says to me that this person is good to me because this is the reason why I'm going to start learning about Islam because I'm going to teach him? Or when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that they are not better because they invite you to the hellfire? And trying to get this message across to the sister. And inshallah, these are some of the things we'll be discussing. Also, the relationship between a Muslim and a Muslim, we find that young Muslims want to marry each other. Alright, and not only that, they come to the mosque and they have these feelings for each other that are so intense that sometimes you don't even find between a husband and a wife until after years of marriage. And they have these feelings for each other that they're inseparable. Like, I'm going to commit suicide if you don't marry us. Don't laugh, we're serious. But this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to lower the gaze. Because even though you might have the best of intentions, lowering the gaze is a shield for you and a shield for the other person. And again, when these people have these feelings, they want us to convince the parents to allow them to marry. Oh Sheikh, my father, he doesn't want me to marry this person, can you convince him? And vice versa from both sides. And they ask us to intervene. And not only they ask us sometimes, they demand it from us like it's a right for them upon us. So they're in a haram relationship and then they're demanding it like it's their right. And the reason why I'm addressing this issue is because when they're in at that moment, it's very hard to talk to them in this manner. But now when I'm talking, I don't know who's in this room and I'm speaking openly. So I'm not targeting anyone in particular. And also they use the same hadith that I mentioned before, which is that the Prophet ﷺ said, if a man comes to you and you're pleased with his deen and his character, marry him. Now I ask you by Allah, if a man is prepared to have a relationship with you before marriage, what part of his deen are you pleased with, what part of his character are you pleased with, and vice versa. Just something to think about. I'm skipping through my notes here because obviously the other brothers want to say some things and we don't want to duplicate too much. Also choosing a spouse, choosing a person that we're going to marry. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Sharia of Islam, He legislated a wali, a guardian, someone to represent a woman in a marriage. Now this wali, he has a very serious responsibility, but somehow, for some reason, the sisters seem to take this matter lightly. The wali, his job is to ensure that the person proposing for your hand is a suitable candidate. Okay? So it's the man's job to go out and ask about him because it's not appropriate for a woman to go out and ask about a man. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed that burden on the wali. Secondly, at the time of the marriage contract, how are the rights of the woman going to be protected if there's no one there to protect her rights and demand her rights for her? And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave 50% of that the decision to the man because of the responsibility and the burden is placed upon him. But the women, they want to say, oh, my father doesn't approve of him because he's not Lebanese, or he's not Somali, or he's not Bangladeshi. This is the excuses we hear. Or my father doesn't like him because he doesn't know him like I do. Sister, why do you know him in that way? My father wants me to marry someone from his family or from his tribe. Or, now, this is the more common reason we're hearing, my dad or my parents don't want me to marry him because he's not well off and he doesn't own a house. These are just excuses that you're giving to us against your parents in order to help us, to convince us, to help you convince your parents. This is not the way. And I should raise a point here that we're seeing a growing trend in fathers appointing someone else as the wali in a marriage instead of themselves due to their disapproval of their daughter's marriage. Now you might ask, what do I mean by that? For example, brother Ahmed, the one that's standing behind me, wants to marry his daughter off to someone that he doesn't like the person who's come to ask for his daughter, he doesn't want to marry him to his daughter. But at the same time, he's worried that his daughter might go off with this man anyway. So what does he do? He's in a dilemma. He doesn't want his daughter eloping, and he doesn't want his daughter committing zina, and he doesn't want his daughter to marry this person. So he will appoint his brother or his son to do the contract on his behalf, the tawqir, and the son or the brother will do the contract on his behalf. Now the girl might think she's got whatever she wants out of this. Khalas, I married the man, and in time I'll repair my relationship with my father. Okay, go on, go away. Go with your husband and be happy. How can you be happy knowing that your relationship began displeasing your parents? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded the duty of the parents straight after worshipping Him. Not just that, every marriage has fallouts. Regardless of how good your relationship is, you have disagreements. If one of those disagreements turns into a point where it's above a disagreement, who do you turn to as your side? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when you have a disagreement, bring one from this party and one from this party, and come forth. Who are you going to bring forth? If you've already cut off ties with your parents, or burnt yourself with your parents, who do you have to represent you? And we say this is one of the most common reasons that sisters live in situations that we would not accept for the worst of people. Putting up with abuse, with violence, with mistreatment, all that, because they feel that they're alone in this relationship and they don't have the help and the support of their family. These are some of the things we'll be exploring, inshallah. Also, the marrying of non-Muslims. The marrying of non-Muslims is also a serious issue in our community. Because the people, when they're marrying non-Muslims, they're not checking the quality of the person. Marrying a non-Muslim is not the issue. It's the quality of the person that is the issue. We're seeing people marry non-Muslims, and then the problems fall on us as a community. For example, a divorce happens later on. The wife takes the kids. Here in Australia, they take the kids. There's no more Muhammad and Ahmed. They became Steve and George and Con and whatever. This happens. Don't laugh about it, brothers. We're not here as a comedy show. We're here to address issues. And not just that, this is a small problem. This is just a touch on it. Wallahi, I swear to you today, by Allah, okay, that we have had to fight with families and threaten court over brothers who passed away that were married to non-Muslims who wanted to bury them according to the belief of the wife. And we have had to take on the costs. We have to take on the fight and everything and keep it quiet in the community so as not to humiliate the person who passed away, because it's not appropriate to humiliate the person. Okay? Whatever he did while he was alive, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may forgive him for it. But now that it's fallen upon us, it is our duty to try and give this person a proper funeral and treat him in a proper way. We've had people who the name is Muhammad, and the wife wants to put on the grave the name that she used to call him because she didn't like the name of Muhammad. All these sort of things. Think about these things. These are some of the things, inshallah, we'll be raising. But however, there are some good stories where people marry non-Muslims, and Brother Abu Hamza will tell you about these because he does a lot of work with the non-Muslims, where the non-Muslims have brought the Muslims back to Islam. I'll finish off by saying that you think today that this cannot happen to you, but just think to yourself that the person that it did happen to, he was also at one stage with the same thought that you carry today. So be careful how you deal with people and how you make your choices, because you don't want to fall into some of these examples that we just mentioned. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
ربنا الله ربنا الله ربنا الله ربنا الله ربنا الله.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. There's some people asleep here. Let's try it again. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على خير الخلق محمد بن عبد الله الصادق الأمين وعلى آله وأصحابه وعلى من سار على دربهم واتبع نهجهم إلى يوم الدين. All praise is due to Allah, we praise Him. We seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help and we seek His forgiveness. We seek refuge in Allah from the evil of ourselves and the evil of our actions. Whomever Allah guides, none can misguide. And whomever Allah leads astray, none can guide. And I bear witness. I bear witness that there is no God or deity worthy of worship but one, the only one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His slave and messenger. As I bear witness that Nuh alayhi salatu was salam, Ibrahim alayhi salatu was salam, Musa and Isa alayhima salatu was salam, I bear witness that they are the brethren of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And I bear witness that their message is one. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in Al-Quran, وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولٍ أَنْ يَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, indeed, we have sent to every nation a messenger so that this messenger can convey this message, worship one God and disbelieve in all false gods. I've been given 10 minutes and I'm usually very punctual. I'll do my utmost best. I'll try to explain a beautiful hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I asked the most merciful, the most powerful to give us strength to fulfill this hadith, because I believe that this hadith, if you were to implement it by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we were to implement it by the will of Allah, we will have a life of prosperity and Jannah عرضها السماوات والأرض. Paradise, the width of it is the size of the heavens and the earth. أُعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It has been prepared by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to those that are pious. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he has said, and everything that he has said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, it is a revelation from the heavens as the Quran is, because Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he has said, أُوتِيتُ الْقُرْآنِ وَمِثْلُهُ مَعَهُ. I have received the Quran and the same thing with it, which is the Sunnah. The sayings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the actions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the approval of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He said, الْمُؤْمِنُ الْقَوِيُّ خَيْرٌ وَأَحَبُّ إِلَى اللَّهِ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِ الضَّعِيفِ. I'm going to summarize this important hadith, even though that you can give 5 lectures, full-on 5 lectures, just on this hadith. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he has said, the strong believer is better and he is more loved to Allah than the weak believer. The ulama defined the strength. First of all, the strength which is iman, faith, that you have a good relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is so important. This is the key of success. The relationship between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is strong. So when someone comes up to you and says, let us go to the casino, let us go on Shetland and speak to this lady or this sister or whatever, let us go and take some drugs, let us smoke, you show your strength there by saying no. A Muslim is not a person that has no personality. A Muslim is strong. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us to fast a month, we fast. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to pray 5 times during the day and night, we submit and surrender because we have an inner strength that no one has. We fight against our desires if it does not befit the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he has said, المؤمن القوي خير وأحب إلى الله من المؤمن الضعيف. The strong believer, first of all, faithfully. They have piety. They have a good relationship with Allah. My dear respected brothers and sisters, there are 3 rights that must be fulfilled. The rights of Allah, and that is the most important. The rights of others, parents, wife, husband, children, Muslims, non-Muslims, animals, trees. And the rights of oneself: eat, drink, get married. Remember these 3 rights. Some people say, well, this George and this Michelle, mashallah, they're very good. You know, they give their money away and that's good. That's great. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards them in this worldly life. But in the hereafter, because they disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they did not fulfill the purpose of life, they'll go to hell. Even if his name is Muhammad or Mahmoud or Khalid or Giovanni or Giuseppe, regardless who they are. If they fulfill the reason that they've been created, if they know the purpose of life, and they implement what they've been created for, they'll enter into heavens. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said a beautiful verse, إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. The best amongst you in the sight of Allah are those who are pious. He did not say from this country or no. So Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he has said, the strong believer is better and more love to Allah. Physically, Muslims should not be, bludgers. They should not be lazy. You get up in the morning and you're overwhelmed. You're happy that Allah has given you another day to live. That's why when we get up, what do we say? Alhamdulillah. الذي أحيانا بعد ما أماتنا. نعم مت أنت. الحمد لله الذي أحيانا بعد ما أماتنا وإليه النشور. Alhamdulillah, all praise to Allah that Allah has given us life after we've died. Every night, my dear respected brothers and sisters, we die. It's called the minor death. Al-Mawt al-Sughra. We die. So when you get up, alhamdulillah, that your soul came back. Because when you sleep, your soul goes. And sometimes it goes and never comes back. You die. And the majority of times it comes back by the will of Allah. So you're excited, you're overwhelmed, you're happy, say, thank you Allah that you've given me life after you've taken it away from me. And to you we shall return. Be inspired. Be happy. That is the strength of the believer. But don't get up and say, oh, not another day, I'm going to... No. Get up and be happy. So a strong believer is better and more love to Allah than a weak believer. Technologically, physically, financially. And then he said a beautiful, he continued on with this hadith. Al-mu'min al-qawi khayrun ahabbu ila Allah min al-Allah. Then he said, وَفِي كُلٍّ خَيْرٍ. And in all there's good in every person. But the ones that Allah loves most are those who are strong. And then he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, احرص على ما ينفعك. Brothers and sisters, listen to the sayings of the one that loves you and cares about you more than your parents, which is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cares more about you than our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He said, احرص على ما ينفعك. Concern yourself with what benefits you. Read what benefits you. Do what benefits you. Don't go out there and spend time saying, oh, let me waste time. How many people do we hear that they say, oh, let me waste time? No, you'll be asked about this time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made an oath by time because it is significant and it is important. So Hassan said, احرص على ما ينفعك. And then he said, وَلَا تَعْجَزْ. Don't despair. Those brothers and sisters that are popping antidepressant, he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, don't despair, don't give up. Not every time you go through a difficulty or a trial and affliction, you pop up antidepressant. Be strong. Be steadfast. Be firm. Take the tablet of the Quran. Read the juz a day. Inside your house, alhamdulillah, make adhan. Ayat al-Kursi after every prescribed prayer. Give donation. Advise someone. These are the pills that we are in need to take. Remember Allah. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. Allah has said subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is by the remembrance of Allah that your heart attains contentment and security. So Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, وَلَا تَعْجَزْ. And then he said a beautiful hadith. He continued on by saying, وَلَا تَقُلْ لَوْ أَنِّي فَعَلْتُ كَذَا لَكَانَ كَذَا وَلَكِنْ قُلْ قَدَّرَ اللَّهُ وَمَا شَاءَ فَعَلَ. Don't say, if I did this, this would have happened. Say, Allah has preordained this and Allah does whatever He wishes. When you understand this hadith, then whatever calamity that you're facing, you will not be despaired. You will not say, oh, if I did this, no, khalas, qaddar Allah, Allah has, subhanahu wa ta'ala, has preordained for this to happen. And when you have this ideology, and when you have this belief, then you will be able, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to face all sorts of trials and afflictions, and you will overcome them by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is the strength that I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me and give you, my dear respected brothers. Be strong. Don't be of those people that have no personality. Be strong and make sure that when someone tells you to do something, you do it if it's pleasing to Allah. And if he tells you to do something which is displeasing to Allah, you say to him no, or to anyone else for that matter. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you all. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. I welcome all of you with Islamic greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Meaning, may peace, mercy and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be on all of you. I would like to thank Islamic Youth Organization for organizing this event. And I would like to thank our mashayikh for accepting the request to come and address a very important issue, which is the youth matters, the youth affairs, and the youth issues. And I believe everyone who is here, we all fall in the category of youth. If you're not, then better be upstairs. Anyway, my subject, or the subtopic that I want to discuss today is how to become a sheikh. I'm going to ask a few questions before we answer that. How many of you have a Facebook account? I'm going to put my hand first so you all feel comfortable and confident in raising. I'm not calling anyone haram, halal today. It's all halal stuff tonight. Facebook. Come on. 50% more. Our mashayikh are having accounts. Come on, boys. Alright. Okay, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. How many of us have Twitter accounts? Okay, alright. YouTube account? I haven't got yet, so. Alright. Okay. So, Jazakallah khair for answering that. The reason I'm asking the questions is, being on Facebook, being on Twitter, being on YouTube, I never had an account before. After a lot of pressure from my brothers and sisters around me, I started an account 2 months ago, and believe me, I'm shocked. I'm shocked at Facebook, I'm shocked at Twitter, and I'm amazed at YouTube. The reason I say that is why I chose my subject, how to become a sheikh. You go on Facebook, you feel you are the most unknowledgeable person on earth. Because everyone else who is there is a very big sheikh. You've got Facebook shuyukh, you've got Twitter maulanas, and you've got YouTube muftis. Yeah? And I refer to Googlers as Uncle Google because that's not halal. On Facebook, it's halal because we all are on Facebook, it's halal now. The issue here is, recently, just last week, Rupert Murdoch, one of the media giants, he was in a meeting to discuss why is his channel going down. He's not sure. So he put forward one point. He said the reason channels, the TV channels are going down or their viewership is going down is because of the social networking sites. And they were discussing this subject that why is it that people are not viewing television and going more on social networking sites. So that is what I want to discuss today and put our discussion forward. Before I go there further, I want to put forward an example. One of the brothers in my meeting, he said to me, brother, there's a very good YouTube clip of just 2 minutes. It has got 2 million viewers. It's a very jolly clip. I said, all right, what it is about? He said, well, this is a Pakistani brother. You know, I'm Indian, so I have to pick up Pakistanis. He said, this is Pakistani brother in UK. He's in a fish market, and he says in such a rhythm, 1 pound fish, 1 pound fish, 1 pound fish, that it has got 2 million viewers. He said, brother, do you know why is that? I said, brother, first of all, whether or not I know why is that, I'm not going to watch this clip. If that is all what it is in it. He said, no, brother, watch it 2 minutes, you'll love it. I said, brother, I'm happy to sit here for 20 minutes and advise you not to watch it, but I'm not going to watch it for 2 minutes. He said, okay, tell me why are there 2 million viewers? I said, that is the answer to this question of Rupert Murdoch. Why is television viewership going down and social networking sites going up? You know why? Because on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, or on Google, whatever, you can voice your opinion. On a television channel, you cannot. What can you do? Just watch or just listen, not you. But on Facebook, every one of us, for 16 hours a day and 8 hours of sleep, we're on Facebook, online. How many of us are online right now? I had to bring my phone to make sure how many of us are online. Almost everyone is ready on the Facebook, right? The question here is, why do you have 2 million viewers for a clip like that saying one pound fish, 1 pound fish? You go to my country, we got 1 million people shouting that in a fish market, 1 pound fish. But in West, you get 2 million viewers. You know why? Because people sitting there are wasting their time and they are bored. They want to search and find out something that may click them, that may interest them. And you ask them, brother, there's a lecture tonight organized by Islamic Youth Organization. You hardly get 500 people. 2 million viewers and 500 people, compare that. Because there are people ready to waste their time. That's the concern there. Anyway, coming down further, when I sit on Facebook, I have to get my wife with me, halal filter. I can't sit on it on my own. There's so much tough stuff. I have to ask my wife to filter it, then I watch it. Sisters with all beautiful photographs, brothers with all different types of photographs, in everything. Now, whether it is halal haram, we'll ask the shuyukh in the panel, inshallah. But this is what is happening there. So, how to become a sheikh? If you have a Facebook account, a Twitter, a YouTube, you're already a big sheikh. Okay, now let's come down to the real answer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, in Surah An'am, Surah number 6, ayah number 32, Surah Araf, Surah number 7, ayah number 51, Surah Al-Kabut, Surah number 29, ayah number 64, as well as in Surah Hadid, Surah number 57, ayah number 20. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the life of this world is nothing but play and amusement. In other words, in a jolly language, it's just waste of time. And that is what exactly most of us are doing there. And then Allah says, but far better is the house in the hereafter of that who is al-muttaqeen, the one who is pious, the one who knows time management in this subject. Now, I'm not saying Facebook is wrong. How many of you are here tonight because you saw the ad of this event on Facebook? MashaAllah, IYO is utilizing the halal side of Facebook. So there is good and bad in everything, but that's what we want to open the discussion tonight. What is permissible, what is not, what is appropriate, what is inappropriate, Facebook, Twitter, what sort of things can we do in it, should we be online on it or not? All this discussion can be done very easily tonight. I would like to conclude by saying how to become a shaykh. As Allah said in the Quran, if you do not know, ask those who have knowledge. And that's the best way to be a shaykh. To be a shaykh, you need to sit with a shaykh. You get a fatwa from online, from a website or anywhere, reconfirm that with the shaykh. If I ask all of you, there is a difference between these things. To give a fatwa or to convey a fatwa. If I ask you, is drinking alcohol haram or halal? Come on, Shiro. You're not giving a fatwa, you are conveying a fatwa. If I ask you, is using perfume with alcohol halal or haram? This is the fatwa. And you can say halal or haram if you already took the fatwa from a sheikh. I can tell you it is halal. It's not Wasim's fatwa. No, I'm not a sheikh. But I asked the sheikh and the sheikh said to me, Wasim, it is halal. So I have the right to convey on Facebook, on Google, have a website and say, using perfume is halal. Because it's not my fatwa, I'm conveying the fatwa. So there's a difference. You know something for sure from the mashayikh, you can wait. But you cannot give a fatwa of your own. So always be careful that you are not a shaykh until and unless you learn a matter from the shaykh. And don't call or think yourself to be a big shaykh. Someone puts another opinion, no, using a perfume with alcohol is haram. Don't say, no, my shaykh said yes and that's it. No, there is a difference of opinion in that matter. Ask him again, he would advise you further. I would like to conclude by saying, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us hidayah and intelligence and smartness and wisdom so that we can learn from the mashayikh, inshallah. Da'afu da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Inshallah.
سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحانك ربي سبحانك سبحانك ما أعظم شانك سبحانك ربي.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. My dear respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Now, talking about the youth and the issues of the youth is always, it's always hard to touch on a particular topic because there's so many issues that we are facing today. And the more we look into the problems, the more we find that, to a certain extent, they'll always lead you to one main problem, one issue that we need to address. And this is, from a lack of faith, lack of iman, weakness. And as Brother Abu Hamza Malarwari was talking about al-mu'min al-qawi khayrun wa ahabbu ila Allah min al-mu'min al-da'if. This is something fa'lan, when you look at this hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, there's so much to be learned from that. And if we were to talk about it, it'll be endless. But subhanAllah, we need to also understand why is it that we reach this level of iman, or this level of this weakness of iman. And a lot of this comes and has to do with ignorance, with jahl. And unfortunately, we find that there's a lot of ignorance, a lot of jahl in our youth. Regarding, jahl in the Sharia, in the teachings of Islam, a lot of jahl in all sorts of things, subhanAllah. A lot of us, most of us as Muslims, so Allah has given us something, we are better than the disbelievers. We are better, Allah has chosen us, He's guided us to Islam. So there's a big part of us, that we already have something over many others. But unfortunately, there's a lot of things that we're not utilizing well in order to better ourselves in our situation. Now, in my line of work, because I work with the Islamic Council of Victoria in their prison chaplaincy program. So I visit a lot of brothers in prison. And I do this as a full-time job. So every day I'm in a different prison. And mashallah, we have 13 prisons in Victoria. And 10% of the prison population in Victoria are Muslim. We have a 2 or 2.2% population of Muslims in this country. So obviously we are very overrepresented in jail. So about 8% of brothers are inside prison, and another 2% are on bail or are, doing some parole, out on parole. Some are doing suspended sentences and so forth. So in that line of work, and I've been doing this job for about a year now, and subhanAllah, I've witnessed a lot of issues that really need to be addressed. We have a lot of brothers that are committing some really major crimes, ya akhwan. And, obviously it's hard for us to see this because that's a society on its own. It's a secluded part of our society. It's left alone, and many of us don't even want to know about it. But this is reality, ya akhwan. And a lot of the brothers in jail come from very good families. Because a part of my work as well, there's a program which is called Muslim Connect. So we deal with the families as well. So I see the brothers in prison, and I'm able to see their parents or their brothers outside. And it's given me an understanding of some of the problems that we have that we're facing. And we talk about crimes, we talk about murder, we talk about drugs, we talk about rape, yani some of the most evil crimes you can think of. And a lot of our brothers are committing these crimes, unfortunately. I don't want to be too negative in the way I'm conveying this to you, but this is reality, and this is something I see every day. So, if I don't convey this, if I don't tell you about this, then it'll be very hard for you to know that this exists. We require, as a community, there's a lot of things that we need to establish in order to fix this problem. And, there's a lot of things that we have, we possess, whether it's financial, whether it's manpower, whether it's mental things that we can contribute to our community that we're not utilizing well. And if you think about it, subhanAllah, the other day I was talking to some brothers, and we were talking about how we have a big lack in Islamic schools in Australia, in general. And it always comes down to funds. We'll talk about it, always comes down to funds. Did you know, Ya Ikhwa, that we as Muslims, and this is an approximation, we have between 15 to $20 billion in superannuation funds. And a lot of these can be utilized, and we can establish schools, we can establish centers and mosques with this money. This is just one area that is being neglected in our community. There's a lot of us that have the ability to go out there and help, have some unique traits. Allah has given them some unique traits. They can reach to people, they can talk to the youth, they can, and a lot of these brothers are not utilizing their time for this purpose. And the more we look at our situation, and the more we look at ourselves and our situation, the more that I am understanding that this is it's not something that it's no longer something that is an option for us. This has become a duty upon us, therefore. It has become a duty. We may be questioned by Allah Azza wa Jalla on Day of Judgment if we have something that we can offer to our community, in terms of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy al Munkar, and we haven't offered this, then this could be something that we can be held questionable on the Day of Judgment. So everyone has a duty, and the problem with ignorance, it leads to lack of iman, lack of faith. And when a person becomes weak in his faith, it becomes very difficult for him to deal with the challenges of this life. As we know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests us all, especially a believer. And He tests us, He sees where we stand, how sincere we are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how sincere we are about our faith, about our deen. So obviously if you don't safeguard yourself, and then this challenge will come and you will not be able to deal with it. And this is what's happening in the prison system. A lot of our brothers in there, they have reached such a low level of iman that they are not able to deal with the challenges of life, so they go out and commit some certain crimes. They deal with things the wrong way. So this is a problem that needs to be addressed, inshallah ta'ala, and I'll be very happy, inshallah, to answer some of these questions, in accordance to my knowledge, inshallah. So I'll leave it here.
سبحان الله سبحان الله